This is Andy Bracestead with the St. Andrew Society of Los Angeles, and I have the pleasure of interviewing the National Chef of Scotland, Chef Gary Maclean. For Tartan Talk, let's get started. So now, Gary, I heard a wee rumor that you're not particularly fond of Brussels sprouts.
No, Brussels sprouts farmers hate me.
But still, you cook them up for your kids, I hear. And they enjoy eating them.
You know what? I've got 5 kids and my wife, and there's 7 of us here, and everyone loves them bar me. I don't know what it is. I just Brussels sprouts. I spent too much of my youth preparing them. You know, I spent too much of my 17 to 22-year-old fingers prepping sprouts at Christmas. You know, hours and hours and hours. And I used to watch the plates coming back, and each customer would get, 4 Brussels sprouts, and 3 would come back. And I just kept thinking about, this is time that I don't need to spend. So when I became a head chef, I banned them. I just didn't use them at Christmas. And no one said anything. But to be honest, I think the problem was as well that, Brussels sprouts are quite difficult to cook, and people have their own perception of how they should be. Should they be crispy? Should they be green? Should they be cooked to death? Should they be, squidgy? And who knows, that it's personal preference. But what I do with them is I mix them with equal quantities of smoked ham, and that tends to work even for me. So you get a really nice side that goes really well with your Christmas lunch.
Well, it dawned on me when I was going to ask this question, you're not putting the whiskey in there for the kids to have. So that's why they enjoy it, right?
No. But again, when you're cooking,
no whiskey.
when you're cooking with whiskey, as long as you get the temperature up, as long as you get that temperature and it boils, the alcohol's gone and you're left with that lovely flavour. So now I don't have any issues. And if I do cranachan at home, or I do cranachan, when I'm filming, I do it. The kids get it. It's whiskey flavoured by the time it's all cooked out. There's no raw in it. But to be fair, normally when you go to the army, you drop a few measures in at the end and fold it through, so they get a little of the alcohol as well. But I think to be honest, getting food right is particularly for families. You have to look at how it's cooked. I never ate a vegetable until I was a chef, and it was because my mum couldn't cook. She overcooked everything. And it was horrible. If you get overcooked vegetables, there's no flavour. It's soggy. It stinks the house out. So it's all about getting that cookery right at the start, and keeping things nice and green and keeping things crisp and stuff like that. And again, my kids, they eat quite a lot of veg and they like it raw. They'll take kind of raw veg to school for their packed lunch and things like that. But I think it's just a bit of that trial and error. And I think these days, in terms of, if you do struggle cooking, get online, get and watch some videos, get and watch this. There's thousands upon thousands of little tutorials that'll give you hints and tips that make your cookery better. Even simple things like getting your pans hotter when you're sealing meat. So even if you're making a bit of stew, get that pot roasting hot, get some oil in there, and get that meat sizzling, get it moving, caramelize it, get the flavors going, and that makes a massive difference to the overall flavor of your food. So it does. But again, it's trial and error, and sometimes you need to come out of your comfort zone as well. Do something different. And for me, that is shopping somewhere different. So get out of that routine and going to the same place every week, parking in the same spot in the car park, taking the trolley from the same bit and picking up the exact same food you did the week before. So get somewhere else, try a new market, try something different, and go with an open mind and give yourself time to go shopping. Give yourself time. They always say don't go shopping on an empty stomach, but I think you should go shopping when your taste buds are moving, and it stimulates the brain and you come up with more ideas. And I think that's how you improve your cookery at home. And we're all the same, whether or not you're a chef, whether or not you're a complete novice at cookery, we're all the same. We're all creatures of habit, and we're all cooking or we're feeding our families about 10 different dishes over a cycle. And whether that's 10 homemade, home-cooked, wholesome meals, or whether that's 10 shop-bought, heat in the microwave dinners, or a mixture of both, that's how we, in the Western world, that's how we work. We're all busy and we're all we almost take food as a secondary commodity to anything else in our lives. And I think it's time we don't. So I don't know if that answered your original question, but it's about changing things up. I think making things a bit better.